All right, guys. Solar in the top right side of the map. ByuN in the bottom left side of the map. It's going to be a Zerg versus Terran best of 5 semi-final. Solar absolutely destroyed last week. Didn't even look close against both ByuN and Clem. Is he going to be able to repeat that again today? I guess we're going to find out. Looks like the drag scroll speed is apparently low enough. This feels kind of fast. So I guess this is the classic. I've got the drag scroll speed down at 8%. And yet it feels much faster than that. That doesn't really make any sense. Okay. Guess we turn that down even more. And now suddenly feels a little bit better. Okay. We'll go 7%. Hopefully that's not too crazy. Okay, there we go. Now it seems to be working at the normal rate. So for some reason that wasn't registering before. Until it... Okay. 8% feels a bit fast, but that's all right. Should be all right. We're going to be seeing spawning pool here, guys. Oh, all right, guys. Let's go. We've got Solar in the top right, ByuN in the bottom left. It's the best of 5 here on the new patch. Solar going for the 15 hatch, 17 pool, into the gas after that. Now, it's a Reaper opening for ByuN, but I don't think he's cut any workers to get this one going, has he? Did he do 13-13? Remember, the Reaper's been nerfed in today's hotfix. 2-second build time addition to both Reaper and 3 seconds to Adepts, which is crazy on early aggression. Now, I don't know if people were complaining, no, the Adept and the Reaper get to my base too quickly. But I don't know if you really need to increase the build time on these. I'm not actually sure. I don't really have any decisiveness on it, but I definitely, that one came far out of left field for me. I do feel like any Zerg could just actually cut a drone or two to get their spawning pool earlier, or go pool first if they're worried about early Reaper. I think that's a perfectly fine dynamic. Maybe Protoss players were struggling with it, but I also think as Protoss, you could just go core before Nexus if you're really struggling with those early Reapers, and I think it's always good for those build orders to be okay. Now, this Reaper's still here pretty early, so that, to me, tells me he did cut a worker, I think, out of his build to get this Reaper across so fast, but we'll see how we go. Reaper's going to dance in and out. 6 Zerglings. Pretty high number early on. Extractor, of course, to keep the drone safe. Queen's about to pop out. You got to be careful not to get that Reaper trapped, but turns out on Sanctuary there is an exit point. Now, this is going to be single gas into double gas very early. Okay, so ByuN wants to get up the quick Hellion Banshee, be more active, keep the Zerg on their toes. He doesn't want to just rush straight to that third command center, and that's been something we've seen in a few different Terrans. If they do rush third command center, like we saw Clem do about, what, 9, 10, 11 hours ago on the ladder against Serral, it was that big cross-map game, and Serral was kind of going, oh, this pressure is so light. He was like, the Hellions are so slow, it's so easy to get my creep out, and he was like, is this a bad build for Clem? And obviously went back and looked at the replay. Clem was doing a very greedy 3cc, and his Hellions were massively delayed because of that fast third command center, while still trying to get the Banshees at a decent timing. Now, the difference here, of course, is ByuN can build these Hellions early. He's already got 2 coming across the map, another 2 behind it, but that third command center is delayed. He is oversaturating his gas, needs to fix that, change that rally point, which I'm sure he'll get to, and indeed, there you go. Changes the rally, moves the SCV, Banshees on the way. Can the Hellion Reaper delay the creep and get some delays against Solar? It's not the biggest map, Sanctuary. Some decent push paths for Terran. Ling speed is there. Solar defends the creep tumor for now. He's got 2 more queens building. I think this queen will join the front after injecting, as there's new queens popping out that can replace her. Yeah, I'm not complaining about Adepts or Reapers, but please give me back my lava. It's been the best fun since auto-inject. Well, you still have a boost from what the live game was on the 12-worker start. Just not as big. I think it's going to... Is it 9.9? So it's still up from 10.7. So it's still a 0.8 second buff, which is not too far off of a 10% buff. Right? It's not too far. 10.7 down to 9.9 from the 12 worker to where we are. It's still a pretty good boost. So I know a lot of those say, give it back. But I think it's still quite decent. 3 drones go down. Nice little drive-by there for ByuN. Got Hellions at home as well. 3 Hellions should toast this. The Zerglings going to have to back away. There's no way you're taking out 3 Hellions. Third command center starts in the main, but you can see it's only starting after 5 minutes. Banshee snakes up here, does find a drone, but not watching. ByuN's going to, of course, go down there and... Oh, no spores! 5 minutes 30, no spore crawlers. I saw Serral trying to really delay his spores as long as possible. I think it was 5:20 when he threw those spores down, and that would not be in time for this. That was because Cyril scouted a 3cc build in that game, but Solar, up against the double gas, delaying his spores so long does pay the price. 5 more drones go down, not to mention those 3 that died for aliens earlier, and you can see ByuN's finding good damage. On the other hand, remember, this is much more committed, and 8 drones, 7 Zerglings sounds good, but it is not in of itself a crazy game-changing amount. You do need more than that to make this work. Now, oh! Was he still in spore range even after he moved away? Okay, I'm a bit surprised there that he was. Remember, there's no Overseer. Valera is done, Spire's on the way, Solar trying to get to Mutalisks. Still up 12 workers, Hellions are going to drive in here, grab a few more workers. Wow, wow, wow. Bringing the total up to 14, and I think, was it 3 before that? So yeah, 17 in total. Not bad. But that third command center is heavily delayed. It's got good Marine timing, though. 1-1 upgrades are on the way. How does this time out against the Mutalisks? Because I feel like Solar's going to go take his 4th up here, and those first Mutas, if they either do surprise damage or if ByuN loses his first push, this game's probably going to snowball very quickly based on that first big Terran push, as opposed to what the Mutas get done in their big damage. I imagine ByuN shoves against Mutas. He might turtle up, but he's building tanks right now, which, I mean, usually if you commit to a few tanks, you kind of have to go. Good delay on this 4th base, though. Solar's 4th getting delayed is nice. Slows down that growth. With Spire almost there. Evo Chamber coming in. Good amount of Zerglings on the map. Solar's been playing very nicely. It's finding damage, is ByuN. No game-ending damage. You might be there. Oh, 17, 19 drones. That's crazy. But, I mean, you've committed to multiple Hellions and Banshees. You've lost 3 Hellions and a Banshee. And the Zerg was quite greedy on his own. So damage is very relative. A lot of players who don't understand StarCraft very well always complain about, oh, Zerg took X drone kills and yet is still in a competitive position. That's why Zerg's so unfair. You got to realize everything's relative. So if the Zerg played very safe and lost this many drones, it would be devastating for the Zerg. But Solar didn't. Solar played a pretty greedy game. So he was already ahead on drones, and that's why that damage happened. Oh, Mutas flying past. They get spotted. ByuN's going to shove, finds a Mutalisk. He should have time to get enough Marines at his rally. And he's got a good tank spot. He should just be worried about Mutas dipping in from behind and sniping the tanks. But Solar promptly cancels the hatchery, moves a drone down south to take this hatchery. Muta's going to go in towards that 3rd base. The turret's not quite ready. These Marines a little bit slow to get down there. No turret over the production either. So he's going to have to get these SCVs on there. 4 SCVs do go down. The Marine tank, at this point as ByuN, I would consider running away, because you don't want this army to get cleaned up by the Mutas, the Lings, the Banes coming back and kind of grouping up together to jump on you. Solar playing kind of chill. He's not overcommitting just yet. These Marines are going to find a Mutalisk. Maybe 2 if Solar's not watching. Solar, got to be careful there, man. That's the total of 2 Mutas have already gone down. ByuN should be repairing that reactor, and indeed he is. Leaves a few Marines and medevacs in the main, which is going to keep him set up. ByuN's still not given this position up. I think he's got to get out of here, surely. I mean, this is going to be an easy cleanup for Solar, and I think ByuN's just overstaying. He should have evacuated out this northern ramp and hidden in the top left of the map somewhere, joined up with the reinforcements potentially coming through the map, because Solar's got mid-map control, and ByuN's basically just saying this is just a sacrifice at this point. He's going to get jumped on. I'll gun down what I can, pick up, boost into the main, unload there, try to find a few more kills before I die. Queen's tanking the first shots. Nice move for Solar. Beautiful surround. And the Marines are going to pick up. They're going to boost into that main. We knew exactly this was the only option he'd have left to him. Try to find value in that main base, but Solar doesn't have to do anything. You just grab the Ling Bane, jump on top. Mutas are going to stop you from escaping. Focuses the Baneling. He might try and get 1 or 2 Mutalisks. He does get 2 Mutas. 3 Mutas before he goes down. That's still a very good cleanup for Solar, and I think ByuN has kind of overcommitted by letting this happen. Now, he's got drilling claws on the way. He's building Widow Mines. Remember, Widow Mines also burrow faster now. I'm not sure why that change was made. I guess so the harassment, the Widow Mine drop is a bit more reliable. But against Protoss specifically. Muta's flying around. Thors and Mines are on the way, but the supply advantage is so good for Solar, and Solar's got that 4th up now. Yeah, so this drop needs to run to the top left and hide. Because if the Mutas and the Lings join up on it, you're in trouble. But this kind of presses the Mutas home. Pushing into the middle of the map is dangerous. So dangerous for ByuN. I think the slow zones, he knows Zerg doesn't really want to fight in those slow zones, because the high ranged firepower of Terran is going to gun down a lot of Ling Bane. As the Widowmine Thor count grows, and most importantly, when these last 3 barracks, which he's building out front now, when these guys get tech labs, he'll add Marauders, and they'll tank against the Banelings really well. Widowmine does get a juicy hit on these Mutalisks. Thor gets a splash damage shot. That'll scare him away. But gonna have to pull more SCVs out to build these barracks and the command center. ByuN trying to maintain map presence. Solar is up to 85 workers. Infestation bits on the way. +2 Carapace, +2 melee on the way for him. 2-2, of course, finished right now for Terran. So if Terran could fight right now, it would probably be pretty good. But I think most likely you just want to make the tech labs, make the 3-3, take a 4th base. And I think this is the best 4th base right here. You just need to mine this gold minerals out, because then your 3rd and 4th are right next to each other. But he's going to go take the base on the left, and I think it's a bit easier then for Zerg to attack both sides, though it's still a very solid expansion pattern. Oh, the Muta's just fighting. Gotta be careful with that, buddy. You can see the Mutas have to wait now for the Ling Bane to come back. Medivacs will heal. It's going to try and push the south side, but it's not a very well balanced army. It's almost pure Marine with 1 Thor. Very few Widow Mines. Marines in the main are going to gun down. The Medevac's going to boost away to buy time. It feels to me like ByuN's army is just not quite there. And he's still not got the tech labs. He's built 2 more reactors. He's playing Mass Marine. ByuN is playing Mass Marine. He's playing Firepower style here. He's going to need more Widow Mines. He's not pumping them right now. And that could be a very big problem for the Terran. Pulling back through these slow zones, though. Do you want to fight in the slow zone? Solar. That is a big no-go. This is a Zerg free zone in the middle of this map, guys. You cannot fight there as a Zerg player. Carapace +1's on the way. 2-2's kicking in for Zerg. 3-3 is on the way for Terran, but only 1 extra tech lab is crazy, man. Ooh, drops. Catch the Medivacs, but the Medivacs do unload. Scare those Mutas away, but it's going to kind of push them back. You don't want to get shot down. This army, once again, it's pure Marine with 2 Thors. Where are the Widow Mines and Marauders? A few more Widow Mines starting to come in. ByuN's army mix not quite there just yet. Only 8 Widow Mines on the field. He's adding concussive. A few more Widow Mines in the mix. But if that Ultra Cavern in 3-3 kicks in, things are going to turn upside down. So ByuN needs to pressure. He needs to pressure soon. He's also just 4 supply shy of max. Maybe just doing a cheeky supply drop or a single depot would be nice for him. It's kind of a 4-base, very committed attack. ByuN's not really setting himself up for the next stage. He wants to get damage very soon. This army is once again almost pure Marine with just 1 Marauder and 1 Widow Mine. Such a high damage glass cannon fragile force. Which I guess is how ByuN often plays StarCraft, isn't it? It's just very dangerous. Here we go, Ling Bane rolling forwards. Widow Mine's getting some decent shots. The Thor up front tanks a fair amount of damage. The Marines do fall back. Thor does go down. How many Thors has he lost this game? 3 Thors already. Look at this. Solar's buying so much time. He's on 5 base, 6th base up top. Looking a little vulnerable. If there was like a few more Marauders in the front of these armies, it would just be so much harder for Zerg to engage. But the problem he's having is he doesn't have any units to tank. You want a bunch of Marauders spread with mines in front of them, and then the Marines always try to stay away from the Banelings and start a step backwards while your Marauders and your mines just kind of face tank them and blow up as much as they can. Queen's on the left taking damage there. Banes are rolling forward. Good micro for ByuN. Don't get me wrong, guys. He's microing really well. It's just he has pressure on him to find more damage. Solar F2'd his army to the south, which means he doesn't have enough units up here. And that's a very good fight for ByuN. Picks up, boosts out of the south side, pushes forwards in the north. He's now up 4,000 resources. This is massive. This is absolutely massive. Wow, gets a Widow Mine on the Mutas as well. This Widow Mine not quite firing. You can see the Ling Bane rolling in there. And there we go. He's redropped in the south side as well. It looks like ByuN, he loves these reactor-heavy momentum styles. He's going to hit in here. Forces the trades just 30 seconds before the Ultras are out. Kills 18 drones, gets rid of a hatchery. A beautiful series of trades for the Terran, who's building 2 more command centers behind this. Now, keep in mind, he's only building 2 Marauders at a time, so his answer to Ultras is very flaccid. And as he sees the Ultras, Chitinous and 3-3 almost here, ByuN needs to mix in some libs, get a few more barracks, which he's building 2 more barracks now. He will try to go into more Marauders, potentially Ghosts. Still got Widow Mines all over the shop. His supply is not crazy far ahead, but this 5th base on this map is so good for Terran. It's a nice, compact location. Kind of awkward for Zerg to take that, but Zerg does need to kill these 2 creep tumors and take that hatchery. That one as well, mate. That one as well. Blocks his hatchery. Finally gets that one down. Very easy for Terran to push this from the high ground, though. Still got destructible rocks, guys. These two destructible rocks, I don't know if they ever fixed it, but they block each other. I wonder if they fixed that in the live version. If you break that rock tower, it collapses 2 sets of rocks down. Bunch of mutas going down. Solar reeling. Ultra does clean up some marines down south. Mutas still microing to pick off individual marines wherever they can. This is looking very competitive between these two. Ooh, 3 turrets in the planetary fortress. Deflect on that side. ByuN shoving forward. He does not have an answer to the ultras. He has to pick up and leave. The Widow Mines slaughter his own army. And the mutas are coming back to clean this up. This is a one-way trip. The mutas are going to clean up everything. So he's got to find what damage he can. He knows he's on a timer. The mutas are almost here. The ultras are coming around. They're kind of stuck here. He's going to pick up and go to the high ground, which is exactly the right call. Can he take out the mutalists? It looks like the answer is maybe yes. The mutas kind of going in and out a little bit. The ultras coming now to the high ground, and this is where the bio is going to be getting wrecked. Picks up, tries to boost away. Mutas say, not today, buddy. And he goes straight back to the high ground. ByuN trying to get some value here. Picking off mutas, drones, anything he can. But every medevac will fall. He's bought a lot of time with this, and he has a few more command centers. This is not a game-losing fight for ByuN, but definitely a series of good trades for Solar, where Solar, with his new 5th base in the middle, hatchery coming up down here. If he could take the hatchery up top again, currently blocked by a Widow Mine, might be able to get out from underneath ByuN's thumb. More mutalisks building. No corruptors just yet. Second starport fusion cores on the way. And of course, ByuN's now on 10 barracks, keep in mind. Does he have tech labs in the main? He does. So his Marauder production's ramping up, which means the Ultras aren't going to be as big of a problem now that his Marauder count is growing. All right, Link's chasing the Marine Marauder there. Marine Marauder up north, trying to fight against this. The Ultraling Bane coming around a bit of a corner, though. He's not so deep on creep this time, which means the Widow Mines are going to actually kill the Zerg rather than the Terran units, not like that previous fight. And you can see how easy it is to deny these high ground, these minerals, from the high ground. He's even going to drop to the low ground and try and pick the hatchery off. There are 15 mutalisks. They're going to go for a counterattack. Only 1 turret on this base. This could cause a big response. The rally of ByuN will have to be diverted down there, and he's going to take out the missile turret. Just 1 turret, not enough there. There's no building armor, no high-sec auto-tracking, none of that stuff just yet. And ByuN, he's not really responding. He's focusing on his attack, and I kind of worry that he's not respecting this pack of mutalisks. Going to take a fair amount of damage, but he dives in and snipes a hatchery. Going to punish his Solar for being so far forward. Solar, though, fungal ultra. Oh, but he actually picks up, saves a bunch of these Marauders. Widow Mines might kill his own medevac. Pulls to the right, very nicely done. Drop over there, gets forced to lift. Command Center's died to the Mutalisks, which is wild. The Marines finally rally over that. Did it die? No, it's lifted off. It did survive. No Command Centers have died in the making of this game just yet. Units lost tab 6,000 in favor of Solar. Should come back and clean up that drop on the way home. The Mutas have been getting good value, punishing ByuN for those wild drops that he loves to do. ByuN is repairing the Command Center down south. He's lost how many SCVs this game? 16. 16 to 48 drones. Solar still not able to secure the north. Just trying to rebuild this hatchery and this hatchery in the middle. And this bottom hatchery is sticking out like a sore thumb. Always vulnerable to these future attacks. Now, the Ghost Academy, I don't think is being built this game. Indeed, it has not. It's pure bio mine. It's tempo-based play for ByuN. We do love to see it, man. Love to see Terran playing that tempo style. Ultra, Infestor, Lingbane, a very scary comp. Muta counterattack up north. Oh, this is huge. He spots it, though. The Marines will be able to defend. Oh, my lord. And that could be game-ending damage. That's huge. ByuN finds the exposed hatchery down south. The Mutas are on the wrong side of the map, so there's no real punish for this. He will be able to save a big pack of those units, fly them back to safety. Huge army up north. Planetary and turrets are building up there as well. Is that turret going to be on fire when it finishes building? No, just barely in the safety zone. 83 hit points and it would be burning. It's on 85. Widowmine does more friendly fire than anything else there. That front-running Zergling, an absolute champion, but enough units there to defend, and Solar has to dig deep and look for big ambush fungals, but with no burrow, no way to really catch this army with the massive fungals. He doesn't have good creep spread. Running around, unable to hold on. Solar's a little bit broke here. I do like this map. I think it's one of the better maps for Terran. I think if we get a cross-map, what's the sun map or whatever it's called? I think Solar destroys ByuN. Speaking of destroying ByuN, is this enough? The Ultra's coming in. Microbial Shroud's a little bit late. The Ultra's almost already dead. By the time that goes down, no fungals left. These Ultras desperately need transfuses, but he's only got 2 queens. He doesn't have any transfuse available. There's no other way to heal Ultras, guys. They'll regen 4 hit points, 5 hit points, 6 hit points. Just put him in the corner of the map for 10 minutes and he might get back to full life, but unfortunately those Ultras are not going to be much use in the next engagement, so the supply is a bit of a lie. As you can see, 3 Ultras get popped, the Infestor gets popped. Oh no! Mutas do finally clean up that drop. Another fungal goes down, but you can see how dirty that is now. Look at the Infestor. It leaves more of a snail trail now, doesn't it, guys? Isn't that cool that the Infestor leaves a snail trail now? That's so funny. Here we go. Widowmine's going to get a shot on the Ling Bane. The Ultras, the Lings, the Banes trying to defend. Solar cannot lose this base or it's lights out. He's going to go for a counter attack, but he's going to find so many turrets. Building armor is about to kick in as well. It's not ready just yet. Solar has to go south, but there are so many turrets all over the place, and command centers are pretty big targets. They're valuable, but they take a while to kill. He might get 1 command center if he commits to it, and he does. Building armor, it's about to kick in. That's +2 building armor to all the structures. Very effective upgrade. Stop things like mutas and lings tearing your buildings down. Widowmine burrowing on the high ground. You can see here, the Ling Bane Ultra Infestors a scary army, but the economy is just too good for ByuN. He gets all the Infestors by running those Marauders forwards and clicking on them. One of ByuN's favorite moves is punishing those Infestors being on the front lines. Widowmines do fire, but pretty good spreadies there for Solar. Solar trying to bait him into making a big mistake. You see, there's the double rocks. They did fix it, so the rocks do not block each other like they did in the earlier version. Good to see AVAX on point, fixing his map so quickly. Marines on the south side gunning down a bunch of drones and Mutalisk as well. The Ultra counterattack for Solar causing a bit of chaos. Solar needs insane value and he just can't find it. The Mutas clean that up. He's still down 7,000 in the trading. There's still little bits of bio chipping at him. Oh, that Widow Mine! Getting a big pack of drones from the high ground. A nasty bit of harassment. The Mutas once again are going to fly across the map, hit this southern base, and look for damage. But these Widow Mines recharging quickly. And of course, Widow Mines do very well against Mutalisks. Their splash damage, 40 splash damage with no fall off. Absolutely massive splash. And another one. Oh, another 2. There was even one above the factory. These Mutas have to get out of there. They need to go regenerate. They are not in a healthy situation. They do find a Marine. Lingbane Ultra Infestor runs forward. Big Widow Mine smears the Lingbane. Fungal! Solar comes in with the Fungal, but he loses all of his Infestors. You gotta keep those Infestors out of range. They do outrange the Marauders. You gotta throw your Fungals and pull back though. Solar didn't do that, and his Infestors walked in and got themselves minced. Fire in the south side. Is he getting pushed too far in the middle though? ByuN's gonna try and hold at the planetary. He's gonna counterattack Killer Hatchery at the same time. Mutas are on top of that dude. If Solar brings this back, this is crazy. Baneling's finding the SCVs! Baneling's finding the SCVs! ByuN actually picks up a bunch of the SCVs into the medevac to try and save them. He's going to pull back to his rally. He's still got a lot of bio here. I'm not sure if he's just going to F2 units home to defend or what, but dude, if Solar wins this game, this is a wild comeback. I was kind of talking about this as if it was lights out for the last few minutes because it's looked that way. A bunch of Marauders just got chopped in half by Ultralisks. Now the Muta Ultra engaging onto the rally. Another Ultralisk takes a lot of damage. He needs Marauders to kill the Ultras. The Marines can deal with the Mutalisks. A big bio army comes from behind. There's no escape for this Zerg army. The Ultras go down. Yes, the Mutas can get out of there, but every Ultra is left on the battlefield, and ByuN, with a little bit of a struggle towards the tail end of that game, does end up sealing the deal in Game 1. All right, guys, sorry for the delay. We just had to have a quick bathroom break, and the players jumped straight into the second game. It looks like Reaper Expand. Very standard opening for ByuN. Hatch first for Solar. No, pool first. He's gone pool first. I think he was expecting earlier Reaper or maybe even a proxy Reaper on this map with this nice little jump in point there. So he's gone for the safer pool first, the earlier Queen. He now escorts the drones to the natural, immediately starts a third Queen. So I think this was a 16 pool for Solar. Specifically worried about the early Reaper threat, even though the Reaper build time has been nerfed. Reaper's pulling away right now. Orbital's coming up. Reactors building. Factory is there. 2 workers on each cast. Starport does go down. And the Reaper's going to pull to the right side. Chat says, Winter just quit his cast in a huff. It's in quotation marks, my disappointment immeasurable, he says. I suck at StarCraft, but I agree. Well, we can talk about that between the games. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think Winter's normally live at this time. So maybe you're watching a video? Not sure. Normally Winter's not live at this time, but let us know exactly what you're talking about after this game. We could talk about it. If you guys, you know, you like, what is the game? What's he annoyed at? Yeah. I don't know, because I have no idea what you're talking about, chat. So if you guys want to share stuff from other people's channels, please let us know, like, what game, what strategy are they annoyed at? What specifically is going on? Then we can talk about it. Speaking of builds, Hellbat timing. Ooh. It's going to be like, what, 4 Hellbats? 4 or 5 Hellbats, pack of Marines and a medevac. Old school. It's more of a bunch of medevacs and a Marine with a few Hellbats mixed in. Very cutesy timing. Chat saying, brother, he lost power to his house. What are you even talking about? Really? That's so funny. Big, have you ever played the Elden Ring DLC? No, it's literally Shadow of the Erdtree is still just sitting there waiting to be played. I will hop on it at some point. I just started playing Darkest Dungeon. Oh, dude, is this a... So this is a Ling counter is really good against Hellbat timings. And ByuN, did he think he was getting all in? Because it looks like he's backed away from the idea of the Hellbat time. He's kind of chilling for now. The Ling's trying to sneak in his base. He's delayed his timing. It looks like ByuN, he's forgotten to boost across the map, guys. He boosted, but he left the medevac here. I think that's a mistake, isn't it? He's trying so hard to hide what he's doing that his timing may have just completely evaporated. The Baneling Nest is going to be ready. Lots of Zerglings. And it looks like Solar, now with this Overlord sneaking right back in, it's going to scout the follow-up. And the delayed Cloaked Banshees, unlikely to find a lot of damage. I think ByuN might be a bit too fancy with this opening, guys. It's a lot of Hellbats, though. 7 Hellbats, 9 Marines. Against 7 Queens, 19 Zerglings. No Banelings are pre-morphed. Solar did not anticipate the Hellbats. And this is going to be very hard to stop, especially if he gets on top of those Banelings and focuses them down. 6 seconds left until the Banelings are ready. Plenty of Queens ready. And indeed, no, it looks like ByuN may have taken a bit too long. It's going to back away from it. Marine will clean up the Overlord. Third Command Center is on the way. Solar completely shutting down ByuN's chances for aggression. It feels like ByuN now just not quite getting the damage he was looking for. He's got 3 bases up. Evo chambers down. 4th base is there. He's still got a lot of army active. It's not like he's thrown his units away. But when you commit to Hellbats, Marines this early, delay your 3rd, then go for delayed double Banshee, you've got to find some damage against a Zerg who's now this far ahead on workers. It's not happened. And I don't know how he can make it happen. There's an Overseer. There's 8 Queens. There's Ling Bane. Solar is a bit too far ahead of the curve. And I think ByuN's been a bit too greedy here. Couple drones going down. 7 workers falling. Banshee's rotating to the left. Sorry, guys, a little distracted there. People talking about random stuff in Twitch chat during game 2. I was just talking about that I was disappointed that Winter lost power to his house. What? Okay. Interesting. Oh, Banelings! Oh, to save the Marines. Hellbats can't really fit inside medevacs very well. Always kind of funny how the Hellbat has to take 4 spaces in a medevac, not just 2. Because Hellbat drops were so powerful in the early days of Heart of the Swarm. Boosting medevacs in and just dropping such a chunky worker killer into a mineral iron was way too powerful. There is a party going on with the Moopies over here, guys, in the forest. ByuN's going to come in on this side. I don't know, how far behind is ByuN really in this game? I don't think he's that far behind if he's confident in late game. I don't think ByuN's crazy confident in late game is one of the problems. The supply doesn't look that bad. Solar's still only on 78 workers. It just Feels like there's going to be a few moments where if Solar does choose to spring into action, he could just overwhelm your third, or when you're taking your fourth base. You have a pretty good expansion pattern here on Rainfall, right? As a Terran, you can take that middle base, you can take your fifth there, you've got a really compact 5-base setup. This is much more in kind of the standard, what we're used to. Oh, you get 5 maps really easily, 6th base a little bit further out, 7th base a little bit further out than that. It's not like, you know, watching several try and figure out how to get his 5th up on the 4-player maps was really funny on his stream earlier today, where he's just going, where the hell am I meant to take a 5th? He's like, what the hell? Like, the 5th base locations are out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, yeah. Map design definitely can make taking those expansions much more challenging for players. Hydras don't have movement speed yet. Solar, is he going to give the hatchery up? He's trying to set up a flank, but he didn't get his flank across the bridge yet. Ends up attacking all from one side. I think he's going to overwhelm this. There is a drop in behind the back. And ByuN kind of maintains position on the front, but that drop will go down to the Queen. Lings will clean this up. ByuN manages to get just 2 drones there before the Reaper and the Marine drop fall. Hive has now started for Solar. Second factory as well as a 4th command center, both almost finished. Still a scary moment in the game just numbers-wise. As I said, if Solar springs into action, I think he can just kill ByuN. I don't think ByuN can defend if this army decides to go. It's just very rare that Solar decides to go before Hive Tech. He usually just chills until Hive Tech, and that's when he plays his game. Spore Crawler way out of position. But Hydras will come over, and as the Overseer arrives, those Banshees do get pushed away. One dies, one barely survives. You can see, even now, if this Ling Bane A moved in here, I honestly think ByuN loses so many workers. But, oh wait, he has a giant army that was in the mineral line. I was like wondering where the rest of his forces were. Turns out he's got way more Marine tank at home than I thought. And he sees the Ling Bane army there from the high ground. So he's aware that Solar's nearby with his counterattack force. Actually, I don't know if he spotted it, though. No Spore Crawler in the main. Banshee's finding more follow-up damage than I expected. ByuN's still in this very, like, YOLO diving Marine-focused style, though. He's on 8 barracks, 2 factories, and it feels like he's not confident going to the late game. He wants to find mid-game damage. Will he be able to? Ling Bane's going to run in the natural. We've got the Ling Bane over there as well. Hydras could come forward. That hatchery goes down. Oh me, oh my. SCV's pulled into Banelings, guys. It's a little bit like using your children as a human shield. That is some psycho stuff. ByuN realizes that the Banelings are coming a bit late. Does try to run the SCVs away, but at that stage, that natural has been ransacked, and he did not seem to realize when he spotted with the SCVs that Ling Bane army on the low ground, or he absolutely would have gone over there and cleared this out. At least his engineering bays don't go down, but 24 workers is a lot. The tanks in the middle hold their own. Feels like Solar wasn't even watching that engagement. He just kind of stumbled into him a little bit. He's losing way more Hydras than you would expect, even though the tanks have been left undefended. Oh, lots of Queens go down up north. ByuN does hot pickup, flies away for now. Have we got any Vipers on the map? Just one. One Viper's going to struggle to shut this down. These guys aren't actually safe in the dead space right now. Could have moved the Hydras up there and sniped some of them. This is a kind of scrappy game on both sides, isn't it? It's good to see, though, that the balance between the two already does look much better than last week with that hotfix to the lava production today. With command centers on the way, ByuN will be heading forwards, but he's got 3 more tech labs. Does he have concussive? No concussive just yet. Look how easy it is to defend these bases, though, right? This position here defends natural 3rd, 4th. 5th base isn't too far out either. 5 base setup's not bad, and there's not an abundance of Zerg bases for late game. It's only 7 bases aside. This is not like the big 4-player maps where you have these 4 bases in each corner that you can get to in the late game. Ling Bane, Lurker, Viper coming forward. 3rd base, always a vulnerable area. ByuN's not sieged up, and that base is going to get ransacked. He's got to get the SCVs out of there. Does lift the base, tries to roll forward, but the Lurkers are very scary. Hydra's coming in from behind. Baneling's connecting with some of his Marines. He will hold on, but he's losing a lot of depots, a lot of units. Is he counterattacking at the same time? The answer is no. There's Ling Bane waiting for that, even if it does go in. He does at least save the 2nd factory, but he's got to be a little cautious. That tank on the north is going to get taken out there by that Lurker move. And now he's only got 1 factory building tanks against a Lurker Zerg. This is a disaster for ByuN. He's got no ghosts, no libs. And he's only got one siege tank, and that tank's about to go down. This is so bad for ByuN. Planetary's about to die. Banelings do hit the Marine Marauder, but only partially. The Planetary falls, and I think with that, looks like Solar's about to tie up this series. Really nice lurker timing. ByuN just wasn't quite established with enough siege tanks in this game to deal with the lurkers. He's bringing more Marines back, thinking about surrounding this, obviously, from two sides, which could work out. The new siege tank gets jumped on. It's going to go down very quickly. Only gets a few shots off. And ByuN's, once again, only building one tank at a time. His second factory is still floating around. Command centers are starting to burn. Another one goes down. Whoa. Marines on the other side get caught there by the Hydraling Bane rally. And Solar shuts down the early aggression. ByuN was going for like a really oddball timing with like, it was kind of like a Marine Hellbat push, but quite delayed. Felt like Solar slowed him down a massive amount by distracting him with Ling Run by threats, and he ties up the series. All right, guys, sorry for the once again late start. 16 pool here, just 2 Zerglings. He goes for gas here quite late after the hatchery and the queen and all this sort of stuff. And it is going to be a command center first for ByuN. Now, ByuN's done some really juicy command center first builds. This should put him in a really good spot against a pool first, right? Pool first, not quite as economic as hatch first. But it's kind of cool to see that Solar is a little fearful of the early Reaper commitments. We'll see how it goes. Single Zergling comes in. Marine should easily deflect it. Sees the factory, so he knows what's up. This is not like a 3 racks after command center first or anything crazy. Overlord's hiding over here. That's right. This is one of the maps with a pervert pillar. What I like about this pervert pillar is I feel like if the Overlord like deflates and loses altitude, it's going to get its butt impaled on these spikes, and that's got to be painful. So at least unlike many pervert pillars, it's a more precarious one. ByuN, of course, talking a bit of smack. Solar, no doubt, talking a bit of smack back at him. Both players making faces at each other. And generally the banter that comes between two friends who've played hundreds and hundreds of competitive series with each other. Barracks is going to lift up, pull to the north. Queens are building, third hatchery coming up. So it's once again going to be Hellions. The question is, guys, does he just go Banshee? I kind of want to see more Hellion Lib. I want to see a Viking clearing Overlords. I don't know if that stuff's even good. I just want to see how it plays out. Problem is, in general, Solar's just such a good defensive Zerg that aggression does tend to fall flat against him a bit. Oh, we got a translation. ByuN says that Solar treats him like he's an idiot for the Zergling move. For thinking he'd let the Zergling walk into the base. ByuN says that he was going to make a reactor. So he gave him the info he wanted for free. Nice. Keep in mind, if one of these guys makes a big mistake in a game, you're often going to see the other one drop a question mark and start laughing at him. Hellions rotating around the right side. No early lair. The lair feels kind of late now. It's like 150 gas. Three mineral lines are up. Are you going to go double Evo chamber before lair, Solar? What is this greed? It's building a spore on the right side. That's like an anti-liberator spore. Finally, that lair does go down, but only after he's queued up to over 50 drones. Like, he's really trying to max out his economy, but... And the spores on the outside's kind of cute. The problem is if the Banshee just goes to the inside and it's not covering, you will have to uproot it and move it. Spore crawlers move incredibly fast, though. They can root in just a few seconds. Ooh, he tries to use the rocks with the splash damage while attacking the rocks to get that. That spore crawler should reposition. Pretty quick to move it. Natural spore not quite done just yet. And you can see 540. That's when the Banshee enters the base here. So about 520. It's probably your safe spore crawler timing if people are doing delayed third command centers. Third command center is just now making its orbital for ByuN behind this as the Banshee gets a bit of mining time. 2 drones, going to chill around the back. And of course, we've got 2 eBays, 4 barracks building. So it was second and third barracks, then double eBay, then fourth and fifth barracks. The standard flow, not like a greedy Maru build where he goes double eBay really early. Banshee gets 2 drones for just 2 hits by the Queen. Very well played. I do like this clean setup here for ByuN. factory. Not really sure what he's going to do. Have an identity crisis. Guys, he just cancelled a reactor that the starport was building and then built a new reactor. I kid you not, that was not a tech lab. That was a reactor. I'm almost certain of it. So that's just a mistake there. ByuN, a little flustered in this game. He's building 4 depots at once as well, as if you didn't have enough signs that he's flustered. He never finished his wall off in the main also. Yeah, this is, you really do see ByuN's entire mindset in his playstyle. And frantic urgency is basically, I know it's kind of his default state, but there are levels to it, and it feels like it's a bit more chaotic and disorganized than normal. Even though that is ByuN's kind of standard way of playing. Factory goes on the tech lab, medevacs are now beginning, but you'd really love to already be moving across with these stim marines and clearing creep. Found big damage. It is going to be a Hydra style, so Solar's not committing to the mutas too much after that game 1 where ByuN handled the mutalisks really well. Alien's going to drive in. Plenty of Zerglings. You don't want to throw these away. These are such a good support unit for your army. You can defend your third with these from Lingeran-buys. You can morph them into Hellbats to guard your siege tanks later on when you're pushing. So many good things they can do. No reason to throw them away. A lot of people throw units away to simplify the situation for themselves. Not a bad idea when you're a lower level player, but at pro level, not ideal. Good transfuse. And of course, the Nova Simp Shrine, our favorite feature here at Eternity's Edge, guys. I just love how excited they are, man. These two aren't even dancing. They're just hypnotized by her beauty. They're like, oh my god, I bet she drives that vulture so fast and shoots that canister rifle so well. Nova Queen! Don't know if there's any lore about the Moopies on the sides of these maps, but here we go, big push. Oh, look at the flank though. Solar's ready for it. Solar's going to jump on top. That is a beautiful engagement. Their Hellbats get completely wiped. ByuN went way too deep there. Got way too excited, and that's just, it was not a good push for ByuN. Solar was ready for it, sets up the surround. The Banshees fly into the Spore. They get hammered. And this is just an excellent defense for Solar, who's all over the game now. ByuN just, he didn't scan ahead of his push, and I think that's kind of a rookie maneuver, right? I really think he should have sieged a bit further back. He sieged on creep, all his Hellbats were in a clump, and it was just, his tanks were too accessible. I think in hindsight, pushing maybe along this ridge up here might have been nicer. But it's always tough on this map. Where do you push? There's a lot of big wide open areas. It's hard to find the best area for a Terran army to fight. I think once you're maxed out with masses of tanks, it might be a bit more viable finding where those engagements are good. Marine in the middle does clear up a Zergling. 2 Zerglings go to get vengeance. You killed our brother! Vengeance is served. Hive starting up for Solar. Pretty solid timing. There's only 3 tanks for ByuN. I really don't think he can commit to a push, and indeed, he's leaving his tanks at home and only roaming the map with Marines. That's, I think, the correct call. He can poke around with the Marines, look for exposed units, pick up, boost away when he needs. That lurk attack is coming in for Solar, and ByuN needs to non-stop produce tanks so that he's ready for it. If he doesn't have enough siege tanks, we saw how powerful those lurkers are. Generally speaking, if your opponent has tanks and ghosts ready when the lurkers hit, the lurkers feel like a pretty weak unit. You kind of have to catch them out of position to make them do anything. Ooh, good focus fire, but he's surrounded, man. And ByuN does end up losing that fight. Banshee on the right side goes down as well. It's a close game, this one. Very close. I do think Solar has a bit more momentum. He's already got minerals starting to bank up. But his creep spread's not god tier. The Marines keep contesting the watchtower and just denying little bits of map vision. The pervert pillar at Overlord finally gets evicted. Overlord goes down to the turret. 4th command center's blocked. Block on the 4th. Very nice for Solar. Hold on. Mass Lingeran by. Oh no, the tanks are exposed. The Marines need to defend this. It's going to lose 3 siege tanks? 2 siege tanks. Okay. 2 siege tanks for Zerglings. Not a bad fight there for Solar. Oh, he finds a 3rd. He finds a 3rd. And this is just before the lurkers are going to be hitting the field, guys. We should be seeing now the lurker den upgrade coming in now that Hive's here. There we go. Lurker range. If he can morph some lurkers on the map when he gets a bit more gas, it's going to be a big reduction in the tank count. And ByuN's like, well, I'm making a third factory because I need more tanks. He's not even using the 2 factories he has because he's maxed out. He's only got 1 tank building. He's on 70 Marines against what's going to be mass lurker. ByuN needs to trade, and he needs to trade out his garbage units and replace them with better ones. Tanks, ghosts, needs more turrets and planetaries. He's got to try and keep Solar and his army away from him. Trade these Marines on the Zerg side of the map. My god, their damage is crazy. Juicy, juicy Marines finding some very nice engagements. There's only 1 Viper on the map. It's not going to do much to stop this. Oh, but wait, double Spore. Hold on, hold on, hold on. ByuN not watching. He ends up almost losing his medevacs. Oh, the Spore pullback is kind of sick. The Marines are just going to trade out in the corner. I think that's the right call at this point. Oh, he does try to save 1 medevac. Luckily, it's the medevac without the Marines. It does get hit by the power bomb. 48 more Zerglings building. PiGosaur on the way. 5 more command centers building. Lots of space in the main to build these. I love the turrets on the edges. Should have turrets along this edge as well to stop Overseers getting in the back. Otherwise, he can Nidus Worm you all day. Hydra's lunging forwards, trying to cross this map as quickly as possible. +3 carapace, +1 range, adrenal glands, and of course, lurker movement speed is on the way. The Viper's been forgotten though. Right, Solar, there we go. Does remember, starts consuming energy before, no doubt, sending him to the front lines. Tank count for ByuN is at 8 siege tanks, 2 ghosts. Still not an amazing army, but much better than it was before. And the Marine drop continues to frustrate Solar on the right side of the map. Chat says, my name is Inigo Zertoya. You killed my egg brother. Now vengeance is all I live for. Indeed, that was those 2 Zerglings in the middle, man. Never mess with a Zerg. Like, this is the thing, you know? If you go and you challenge a Zealot to a fight, don't get me wrong, he'll probably kick your ass, but at least it'll be a 1v1, because they're all about honor. Whereas if you get into stuff with a Zergling, you might think, oh, this Zergling's pretty small, I can take him in a bar. You are going to, like, literally the moment you brandish fists, there's going to be, like, 37 cousins there. And they're all going to be, like, pushing you on the ground and kicking you at once. Zerg have no honor. It is just no rules. They're gonna friggin', I don't know, throw acid in your eyes, and then they're gonna, like, kick you in the nuts and then kick you while you're down, you know? No rules. They'll king hit you when you're not looking, whatever. They punch you in the back of the head. Baneling's rolling in. Marauder trying to hang on the left side. Planetary tries to get up there. Lingbane Hydra. Oh, God. Here we go. Viper, Hydra, Lingbane on the right side. Marines pulling back. There's only 2 tanks. You got to run those SCVs. There is not enough units to hold this side. Not enough Marines. And a massive attack. Good pull away on the SCVs, but the Banelings are continuing forwards. Even more units going down. Where the heck is the rest of ByuN's army? I don't think he realized this was the full army, because you can see how slow he's been to respond. 33 more workers go down. Absolutely devastating. And where are his mobile units? They continued to push at the same time. A tragic mistake for ByuN. Solar just A-moves the third. We always talk about the third base being the weak point of Terran. They always think, oh, my new base is what Zerg's going to try to deny. But that's where they look. It's planetary, interplanetary. All the tanks and ghosts were down there. The third base doesn't have a planetary until much later in the game. They might add a second command center there and turn it into a planetary. That's always the weak point. And that was just way too good of a trade. Look at this. Zerg's only down 500 resources. He busts the north. Now Terran's focused on defending that. Now you remax and bust the south. And this is 101 of Zerg play in the late game. Hit one side, remax, hit the other side. Just swing from side to side. The Zerg pendulum swings. And of course, it does count down with the sort of inevitability that one experiences when they are facing the clock of life. It's a weird way of putting it, but okay, guys. My point is Zerg's gonna kill ya. No one beats time, and no one beats Zerg when they're up 80 supply, and their name is Solar, and they're spreading creep into your third base. You are screwed. ByuN needed a cleaner hold on that first wave. Maybe should have been trying to wall that off a bit more, have a few more units spread up here, or maybe a forward sensor tower to see Solar coming a little bit earlier would have been nice, but this is a hard map for Terran. It's a big map. You can see just how spread these bases are, how many big wide open areas there are in the middle. I actually think it's a decent candidate for mech. I think if there's a map to mix in a mech style, Old Sun Temple, Fear and Faith, and at Eternity's Edge are the 3 big maps, especially if you get cross-map on those 4-player maps, where I think mech just makes a lot of sense for TvZ. I also think mech's a bit better this patch, though. Who knows, that hotfix did massively lower the gases on the bases. They are mining out much earlier. I haven't been pointing it out, guys, but these gases do mine out much earlier. You can see the natural gases here will be mining out soon. The main base gases should have already mined out because these are only 2,000, whereas they'd actually upped it to 2,500 in the previous version of this patch, and now they've lowered it from the old 12 worker value of 2,250 down to 2k per gas, which means it will mine out a couple minutes earlier. I think about a minute 45 earlier, something like that. Which is pretty damn significant. Of course, at this point, you could say ByuN is coping, but I don't know. There's always the chance that the Zerg chucks a Zerg, finds the most well-defended choke point, crams their army into a terrible engagement, throws. With the bank that he's got, Solar's going to need to chuck a Zerg a few times to give this one away. Look at the numbers. There's so many Banes coming in from behind. The Hydra's clearing the tanks. Banelings can go after the command center. If they get in that mineral line, it's going to be a disaster. You can even just click the orbital, and that mineral line, oh, so many SCVs go down. 18 more workers. And they, of course, cannot be afforded. This northern base looking very vulnerable to more Zergling run-bys as well. Oh, friendly fire from the tanks killing their own guys. You can see the Zergling there. The SCVs are going to repair to keep the tank alive, but nothing's actually killing the Zergling. And ByuN realizing he is in a very impotent state. He's going to have to tap out Solar with a 2-1 lead. All right, guys, next game. Solar in the top right. He's just been droning for now, and it looks like hatch first, no pool first this time. ByuN is going to be going for a command center first as well. Okay, it's Old Sun Temple. It is horizontal spawn. Remember, the only rule is you can't spawn vertically. So they both know that the opponent is either sideways horizontal or cross map. And Solar's lucky. He's going to get a scout first with the Overlord. Downside of that is he's got to deal with horizontal spawn, which is way worse for Zerg than cross map. Going to have to take his third here, and then he's going to have to mine these minerals open and take his fourth down here as early as possible, because this base, normally not a bad base when it's cross map, but expanding that close to ByuN, it's going to be a no-go. So Solar's going to be forced to expand along the southern, the eastern edge of the map, as far south as possible to that bottom right corner. ByuN's probably going to take this as his third, and he might even consider taking this as a fourth and just pushing Solar really aggressively. So it'll be hard for Solar to loop counterattacks around through the middle to hit the natural if ByuN has enough pressure in his face. But ByuN's fourth here is also going to stick out like a bit of a sore thumb. But ByuN's initial 3 base will feel pretty tight. Now keep in mind, guys, Reapers now take 34 seconds rather than 32 seconds, so I do really appreciate ByuN not going early Reaper. Depth's also 33 seconds up from 30 seconds, and this patch just came out hours ago, so I'm still kind of thinking about the impact these changes have, and I don't know, part of me kind of feels like I wish those things weren't increased. And even though, you know, I don't know, for me, it kind of feels like Barracks Gas does still slow down a Terran a fair bit, getting an early Reaper or two, right? As opposed to, like, his economy here for CC first is so much better than off of a Reaper expand. I don't know. I don't know if it's a knee-jerk nerfing the Reaper build time, because my instincts tell me it is. My instincts tell me people are complaining about, oh, the Reaper's in my base too early, and I'm like, well, have you considered not building your spawning pool on 17 supply? Because you know you can do that, right? Like, you don't need to build your spawning pool after 15 hatch on 17 or 18 supply. Like, you can build it before then. You know? I don't know. For me, I feel like you shouldn't have to nerf the Reaper or Adept build time. But that's just me. Gonna take a bit of time to see how it plays out. I was already not really favoring Reaper openings myself that much. Trying to do as much skipping the Reaper, getting into Hellions earlier. These two Hellions are going to move forwards. There's always going to be advantages and disadvantages to any build order, and I think that's something which there needs to be a higher tolerance for in the community. Sometimes people just want a one-size-fits-all build order, and I think that's, you know, kind of not the point of what this patch is trying to achieve. Everyone having a one-size-fits-all build order they do every game. Oh, nice Spore Trick for Solar. Dude! He only lost 1 drone! Oh, that hurts for ByuN, guys. ByuN has a pretty decent spawn here, but that's bad. It's a rough start. Lower this depot, get these Marines under this Overlord. Overlord sees what's up, though. That's a starport with no add-ons, so he will build a Spore Crawler on the edge. So any lib looking to cross over is probably going to take quite a few hits. I guess you can kind of skim by and maybe only take 2 or 3 hits. And actually, if the lib's fast enough... Oh my gosh, is it going to get there? Does it get there before the Spore's finished? I think, dude, Spores build so quickly. 21-second build time. Lib, though, quick reaction. Only takes 1 shot. He's going to go for the slowest Overlord kill of all time. When I say slowest, I mean, no, the Overlord quickly turns away. I think he saves that easily just by moving a queen to the edge. But it does push the vision back, at least. Hellions go in, get themselves 1 drone. Solar's trying to mine these minerals on the right side. You can really annoy him by, like, leaving a unit there to kill the drones as they try to mine it. Lib's going to rotate around. 1-1 upgrades very fast for Solar. Solar, because he saw no add-on, he says, I don't need a lair because I don't need an Overseer because you've not gone Banshees. You've gone for a Liberator. You don't have Banshees. I don't need the fast lair. Let's go for faster upgrades. And that's going to give him a catapultingly good setup in that regard. Now, he's trying to go around with this drone to take that hatchery. Liberator is not going to see it. That drone is barely coming through here. And it's going to go to that base. So ByuN's not going to be able to stop it. He's once again just trying to deny the Overlord a little bit, but not finding any significant damage. His own 3rd command center is finished, though. His 1-1 upgrades are still slightly ahead of the Zergs. And, of course, these Hellions can clear that creep by attacking the rocks. Still hasn't opened these minerals up. Liberator's actually found its way in. Solar distracted down here with his queens, so the Liberator gets 2 drones. Of course, doesn't have full vision there. Liberator will have to reposition, but the Hellions being annoying. These Hellions can escape at any moment, and, of course, the queens have to move up here. But look at this, guys, the drones. Oh, he repositioned the Lib, got the queen. All the drones are running down here. Solar running around like a headless chicken right now. What? He's miscontrolled these. I think his drones are accidentally on his Zergling hotkey, guys. What is going on? Solar right now having a conniption. Did he just lose another queen? He just lost another queen. He's lost 2 queens there now, trying to get around that Lib circle and not quite able to do it. Oh my lord. Solar panicking right now. Panicking hard. Oh my gosh, another queen takes a shot. It barely does survive, but Solar... Holy moly. We ran a viewer tournament on the weekend, guys. And this looked a lot like there was a 2000 MMR player, maybe 19, I think it was 1900 MMR. I think it was the 1900 MMR player. The Lib defense looked very similar between those 2 players. This Solar is going to be mad. He's going to be kicking himself. He is not happy. He knows he should not be taking that much damage, but moving all of his extra queens out and then losing the queens that he left behind made that so much harder. There was a 1900 MMR player who struggled that hard against the Lib, and I was like, oh no! Yeah, I've not seen a pro gamer take that much damage to a single Lib in such a long time. Obviously, the Hellions were distracting as well, but that went from what was, I thought, a massively favored opening to Solar, now being a scary Marine Widowmine push shoving into his base. Holy moly! Oh, Widowmine firing the Overlord, not the best, but the Marine Widowmine timing is crazy. He does do a bit of unburrow micro, which means the Banelings don't really take the hits that he wanted to. But the Marines are just smashing right now, and oh my lord, he focuses. He's got to get out. Messed up his pickup. I don't know if it's that load nearby button working differently, but I do see players sometimes doing way smoother pickup micro these days, and sometimes just feeling like they've botched it a little bit. And I think it's they're not quite being used to that new command. They're using the load nearby units command, but they're not quite as expert with it as they are with the old way. Muscle memory is not quite settled. 4th command center on location. I love the greed. Kind of knows he's got Solar pinned a little bit. Solar's got his 4th up, but definitely ByuN has some momentum here. He's going to play fast and loose. Mass Marines, mines, 3 more barracks coming up. We'd love to see tech labs on those. If he goes reactors, and you know this is full tempo style, but he's not made up his mind just yet. He's dropping in that main base. We'll keep an eye on what those barracks do, as he's kind of forgotten about them for now. Clears some creep. Picks up the last second. Nicely done. Going to try and drop these Marines on the high ground. If he can kill that queen, that would be nice. And indeed he will. Tech Lab's finally building behind this, but you could see there's almost a like 45-second delay, something like that. Very long delay on those. So not quite monitoring his production as well as maybe he could have. There's a point here, if you get Marauders in the front line where the Ling Bane really struggles. against the tanky Marauders with the mines behind it. But oh my. That looked like maybe an F2 or something. I don't know, the medevac stayed there. So somehow those Marines from the medevacs were on his main army key. Very odd mistake there for ByuN. Giving up momentum on a big map. This is the sort of map where you want to be hitting the top with drops and harassing the south with drops. You want to be like kind of darting around, or you want to just do a frontal push into that natural like he did before. Both are decent options. Looks like he's going to do the split push style. He's got 4 Marauders concussive, +3 armor starts, but no +3 attack just yet. Unfortunate upgrade prioritization, but a habit that we're used to from ByuN. Widow Mines not quite getting the hits that he wants. He's got an army down here. There's no army there for Solar. Solar does have a habit of grouping his whole army to defend these pushes. That one creep tumor surviving behind this is kind of tragic, but obviously ByuN has bigger fish to fry. Takes down a bunch of the queens, will pull back. That one creep tumor maintaining the spready though. Coming forward with the scan, clearing some creep on the front lines. He's redropped here, though. Solar looped around, trying to catch the drop on the way home. He didn't realize that ByuN just kept going, and ByuN's going to go kitty, deeper. The Marines and the Marauders trying to get in there. Nice hot pickups. The Marauders go down, but plenty of Banelings die in trade for that. These 2 drops do escape to the dead space, getting over the beach there on the right side. Very nicely done. ByuN is no longer up in supply. They're both even on 190, and these 2 drops are going to go down to the Spore. Really nice Spore Crawler. Takes down both dropships in the main. It feels like ByuN's been losing a few more units here, there, and everywhere than he probably should. Solar's efficiency getting on top of it. ByuN's trying to sow chaos. The thing about sowing chaos, guys, is sometimes Nurgle ends up putting a whole bunch of pestilence up in your business. And it feels like we are having units just bleed out left, right, and center for ByuN. It's not as clean on the aggression as he'd like. Solar starting to assert dominance now that he's back at Hive Tech. It's 2-2 against 2-2. The upgrade advantage is not kicked in for Terran yet. The Widow Mine's getting overrun. The Marine Marauder getting pushed back. And can you believe it? Mass Hydraling Bane's just going to go. Solar is just realizing ByuN's being too sloppy on this big 4-player map. Throwing too many units away. Solar pushes in. Oh, Widow Mine gets 4 Hydra kills there. Very nice there on the ramp. But Solar regroups. He's got another army on the right side coming in. Hard to defend this base. ByuN needs a good fight here, or he's going to get knocked out of this game and this series. The winner of this goes to the grand finals. I believe Clem is the favorite from the other side of the bracket, so it's not an easy match whoever gets there, but it is something you want to get there nonetheless. Both of these guys have taken series off Clem in recent weeks. ByuN loses 16 workers, keeps his 3rd alive. His army does maintain its power, and in fact, he's actually up in army supply now. There's not many Banelings. Solar may have spent too many units on that last push. The Marine Marauder just standing its ground, realizing, where are your Banelings? And Solar, he's got all the upgrades on the way, but no actual army right now. That was an overextension for Solar. I think Solar's going to be kicking himself. He normally doesn't push until all the lair tech upgrades have kicked in, and I think he's going to remind himself, that is why I threw away all my units just before Adrenal Glands and Lurkers and Lurker range came in. Oh no, ByuN, after that good early game, that high momentum play, and that God tier Liberator, is going to tie up the series 2-2 and force a game 5. All right, guys, game 5 to decide it all. Solar down here is going to go for a 12 Overlord, Extractor Trick to 13. Okay, so it seems like all the pros have decided now in the last 3-4 days. This is the most efficient way to do it. I will need to be adjusting our opening build guide. I was telling people Extractor Trick to 13, then build the Overlord. Kind of copying the 15 Extractor Trick, 15 Overlord build from the live game, but apparently this is a little bit more efficient. And I think the reason is because with the 15 drone Overlord, you're already almost at saturation, right, on the minerals. And then you build your Overlord and pause your workers. But in this case, if you stop at just 13, you're still missing 3 drones from minerals, which is fair enough. Spawning pool is there. It's going to be 16 pool against Barracks Gas. Oh, okay. Wait. This looks like a 13 Barracks 14 gas. Am I wrong? Or 14-14 even? Not sure. I wish I paid attention at the opening. I'll check in the replay at the end of this game. You guys remind me at the end of this game, quickly rewind, and we'll double check ByuN's opening. I don't think he's cut a lot of economy to do this, but then again, find out. Might be a 13-13. Of course, you can cut just a tiny bit of SCV production to make sure the Reaper comes out at a good time. Still 34 seconds to build. That 2-second bonus on the Reaper. slow it down a bit. If you're wondering, how much slower is a Reaper with the 2-second nerf? Just remember, guys, I'm a professional commentator, coach, and analyst here, former pro player, and I've crunched the numbers. It's 2 seconds later, on average, that the Reaper will be hitting your base. So just remember to factor that into your Zerg build orders. If you guys want more knowledge bombs like that, don't forget to tip, donate, sub to the channel, join my Patreon. And of course, those watching live, you guys should absolutely help us support the prize pool. Running this tournament every week is not cheap, guys. We do have that goal. We'll be doing a big shout out maybe at the end of the series, seeing if we get some support there, because it's looking very empty, all of the bars on the stream today. But we'll wait to the end of this game and I'll do a proper shout out, hey? All right, Reaper runs in, but the pool first shuts it down. Obviously, against the pool first, you're not going to find much damage, are you? Tries to go around. There are a few points here. You can jump in there, and then going to go take that northern base. Now, obviously, on this map, kind of nice for Terran expansion patterns. So Zerg naturally expands north to the top corner of the map, whilst the Terran naturally expands towards you, gets a third here. And not only that, you can take a fourth here as Terran, 4 gold minerals, and just push along the bottom. There's also a watchtower, which is not a watchtower, sorry, a healing shrine. Now, you can't heal air units on that healing shrine, but you can heal siege tanks, widow mines, marines, marauders on this. And you can push through there and do kind of a tank push towards the natural of Zerg. So this is a map where Zerg naturally expands north, often even ends up with this base up the top, this gold base, while Terran expands along the bottom. And you've got very different goals. Terran wants to expand in a tight pattern towards the opponent. Zerg wants to expand as far away from the opponent's pushes as possible. However, you might get a fighting Zerg, maybe a Shin-style player, who might just expand towards the opponent and just go for a big, heavy roach style and basically try to stay on the front foot, control the map, and potentially look for any game-winning timings with that roach army. Could you heal a Viking if it landed? Yeah. You could land a Viking and then walk it into this zone. You just can't fly into this zone. So that's actually imbalanced. Terran gets to heal their Vikings. Super imbo. Healing shrines, I really don't think are as big of a deal. People, when they first introduced this, people went, oh, it's going to break the game. It'll be so unfair. Every single one has to have an air blocker on it. We had a map. Torches had no air blocker on it. I think one game I saw, I guess Zergs maybe just vetoed it versus Protoss. We didn't see a lot of PvZ on that map, probably because they were worried about Oracle's healing. But we saw battle cruisers. Sorry, fire alarm test in my building. Sorry, guys. We saw Clem use it with battle cruisers one time. Okay, shut up, fire alarm test. Dude, they haven't done this in a while. They used to do this like every other week. It was so annoying. Thank you. I really needed the ear-shattering, high-pitched noise in my ears. Thank you. Guy testing alarms in my buildings. I appreciate you. Hellions flying in, live at the same time. It's old school, but the Lynx around is there. Solar was ready for the aggression. The Hellions get slapped down. It's a massive start to the hold here for Solar. He's taken no damage, and oh my, this series might be over just like that. Sorry, guys. That is the downside of casting live. Sometimes you never know what's going to happen. And the Liberator's going to fall. That is a really good hold for Solar. Gets the last hit. That is his shutdown. And this is such a big advantage to Solar. If ByuN brings this back, I give him the title of Grand Archmage. He who is Lord of the Land. Mr. Beast. Except, no, not Mr. Beast, because that's been a corrupted name. The Beast. The Beast, the monster. And the man that all Zerg shall fear for all of eternity. ByuN has identified there's only one way back into this game. He's going to drop a 4th command center immediately. And he's going to try and turtle this game out. Solar, he's going to scout this immediately with an Overseer, which is massive. He can see that 4th command center go in there. He's going to know exactly what he's up against. He's got Mutalisks on the way, which will be really good for opening up new fronts, finding ways to trade against the Terran who just wants to shut things down and limit the gameplay. I mean, let's watch from Solar's camera. Look at his map control. He's taken the gold base as the 5th that we talked about. 1-1's on the way. Bane speed. Creep is spreading. Yeah, he's got complete control. I think Solar should go to at least 90 drones here. And then just swarm. Nothing but army while teching up, adding the upgrades. And just look, when he moves out to take that third, you just do not let ByuN hold on to a third base in this game. You smash into that third when your upgrades are lined up for it. And then you just keep smashing into it while on 5 base with a gold base. There's just no way ByuN can keep up with that. Queens are going to try and defend there. Good transfusers. The drop's trying to distract. You can see ByuN's mining this base, but he's going to need, I think, tanks behind wall-offs or he just gets overwhelmed. He's going to try and defend at the third. The Solar, having seen that 4th command center, identifies he can just go in. You've seen the 4th. You saw this 3rd already on the natural. You can just overwhelm this with 1/1 upgrade Ling Bane. Bane speed is finished. 2nd factory goes down. Unfortunately, it's kind of add-on is blocked by this siege tank. These Marines still dancing around looking for an opening. I like that ByuN's staying active. Just looking for mistakes from Solar, trying to keep him busy. Maybe Solar misses the timing while he's busy chasing pointless drops around the map. The problem is, mutas are going to pop out and shut this down, and the Queen's already doing... Oh my gosh, run. ByuN needs to get out of here. Does ByuN realize there's mutas on the map? He should. He should realize that mutas are a threat, and it's actually the perfect time to go home and turtle, if that is the case. Now, does he make an orbital or a planetary? I have no idea, guys. Doesn't really have gas for a planetary. He's only just got it now. He's making 3 more barracks in a 2nd factory. You can see he's not making Marines right now because he's trying to turtle up to the late game. So he's just min-maxing everything to get the production, the upgrades, the economy up, and then he'll add the army later. Problem, Solar decides to go. He's going to find a very exposed ByuN, and the mutas find an undefended main base, and ByuN just taps out. He was not expecting that. Solar with a really clean defense on the aggression. The Hellions and the Libs were very committed. To lose all your Hellions and Libs for 0 damage, that is just lights out, shuts it down. Very nice play for Solar.